I actually felt retarded, like really retarded. I mean, I brushed my teeth retarded. I rode the bus retarded.
Dang.
In a weird way, I had to sort of just free myself up to believe that it was okay to be stupid or dumb.
To be a moron.
Yeah,
To be moronical.
exactly. To be a moron.
An imbecile.
Yeah.
Like the dumbest motherfucker that ever lived.
In a weird way, it was almost like I had to sort of fool my mind into believing that it wasn't retarded. And by the end of the whole thing, I was like, wait a minute, you know? I flushed so much out, how am I gonna jumpstart it up again? It's just like,
Yeah.
right?
You was farting in bathtubs and laughing your ass off.
Yeah.
You serious? You don't know. Everybody knows you never go full retard.
What do you mean?
You know any retarded war heroes? You went full retard, man. Never go full retard.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, where this video finds you. Welcome to Text. It's 4:39 in the morning, and I was talking to Lewis, and the subject of Pete Hegseth came up. So here's the thing. This is why I thought that the solution to this was very important for him, because Lewis was saying that Pete Hegseth has a thing where he wants everyone clean shaven, that shave every day type of thing. But for brothers in the military, that don't work for them because of the coarseness of our hair and the sensitivity of our skin. It's a bad combination. It's bad for our skin. So the military kind of went lax on that, to solve the problem, because you don't hear about it anymore. But Pete Hegseth wants to bring that back. And I'm like, ever since you were appointed, recruitment has been up like in greater numbers than ever. You got scores of young men, both black, white, Latino, whatever, joining the military because they know that, masculinity is back. President Trump signed the order about transgenders in the military. Like, no, you cannot serve. I mean, it's a beautiful strategy. It's a beautiful strategy. And when you see the chess, not checkers part of it, because remember, the judge blocked it, or called themselves blocking it. But when they take it to a higher court, it's going to be overturned. I don't even know why they even tried that. But I get it. They're just trying to block everything that he does. But this right here is the crucial chess match. This is really the queen piece. So recruitment is up. If you want to portray a strong military, you should adopt the 5 o'clock shadow law, or the 5 o'clock shadow rule, where you can have a 5 o'clock shadow, for those who have to help alleviate the skin conditions of those whose skin is sensitive to the dry shave or the everyday shave. Just keep it light and tight. The 5 o'clock shadow law or rule, whatever you want to call it. I'm tired. But adopt that, and we're good to go. Because image-wise, it'll make your military look tough. You'll have a bunch of young recruits under the age of 35, and by the time they are fit to wear that uniform as an official member of the U.S. Army, after going through your rigorous boot camp, you know, it'll look good on them. It'll show vitality and strength in your armed forces. And leave it open for everybody. You know, not just for black men, but for everybody. Let them all rock that look. In fact, I would encourage it. Change the face of the U.S. military. I mean, look at your vice president. I mean, he's up there with a big fluffy beard, you know, big manly beard. And, you know, nobody, that is not the subject of conversation. It actually helps improve his talking points. Do you understand? It's a symbol of manliness. That's why we have the beard. He's got a big professional beard. Big, full, professionally trimmed beard. Keep that look. But that's what I was the military. That's what I would propose saying to him. Like, hey, look, let's get this 5 o'clock shadow law because of, you know, shaving issues of the past. Like, let's not, you know, let's at least keep the rugged look. Can we please keep the rugged look? Like, it looks good on us. You know, just plead your case. It looks good on us. He'll probably consider it. Like, hey, it looks good on Vans. It looks good on us, but we can keep it shorter. You know, we'll keep it shorter. Anyway, I mean, it's a simple solution. Let's see if it holds. Let's see if that's the route they go. But let's get to what the real issue is, because it involves the trans being in the military. Let's go.
By MAGA. She got rolled over by Trump's speech and...
Oh, this is brought to us by the Real Gospel Chops. Radical liberals explode on Democrats at town halls. But you'll see where we're going with this.
Sentiments. As she showed up to a town hall, trying to put forth her moderate stance and moderate presentation, and she messed around and found out that these wild dogs will turn on you.
On the same week that a poll showed Democrats with a dismal favorability rating of only 29%, many are facing voters face-to-face at what are becoming very fiery town halls. We're talking shouting matches, lots of booing, constituents voicing their concerns about White House policies and how Democrats are reacting or not reacting enough to them. In Michigan, Senator Alyssa Slotkin took a question on where the party is heading when it comes to leadership.
All of those things require me to be more than just an AOC. I can't do what she does because we live in a purple state and I'm a pragmatist. Everyone you mentioned has a lot of words, but what have they actually done to change the situation with Donald Trump?
Would you say no men in female sports?
Well, I think it's an issue of fairness. I completely agree with you on that. It is an issue of fairness. So it's deeply unfair. I revere sports. And so the issue of fairness is completely legit.
Senator,
do you agree with Governor Newsom?
Well, look, I think, you'll have to talk to Mr. Newsom and his podcast, and we're all talking about it now because it's, good controversy. For me, I mean, I grew up playing 3 seasons of sports. In Michigan, sports is like our religion, right? I wouldn't be here, I think, without the leadership training that I got in women's sports. But for me, it's like, let the local community figure this out, right? In Michigan, we have a process in place where if someone who's born a boy wants to play in women's sports, you have to get a waiver. We've had it happen 2 times in our entire state. So let the local communities, just like everything with schools, handle that issue. For me, though, I think, this issue is being sort of brought up in order to make sparks and see sparks fly.
That's her issue. That's why she's getting booed. That's her issue. That's why she's getting booed. Because the people in the community don't want boys playing in girls' sports. That's why she's standing up there in front of her constituents who believe in that stuff, she's telling them like, look, I'm being outvoted. Like, I mean, the only way we can handle this is you have to vote for it, and I'm being outvoted. You guys are being outvoted. So what do you want me to do? I can't change the votes. Like, they don't want this. And they have legitimate reasons. You don't. How are you all about female power, but you're giving your female power to men? What are you talking about? They're not going for that. Like, just admit defeat. You don't have a plan. You guys are in shambles. Even at the local levels, you're in shambles. Because of Donald Trump. Look at this. Everybody's there.
President contravening the House's role and responsibility for the impeachment process. So I will be voting yes on obstruction.
Well, you can vote yes on obstruction, but you don't have the vote.
You did not elect a moderate. And anybody thinking about this person as any sort of a moderate needs to reassess ASAP.
I'm a CIA officer recruited after 9/11. I did.
Okay, here it is right here. Because see, this was the big one here. So because she doesn't have the votes at the local level, nor the support from the state, especially because it's a federal mandate, and the state is not going to violate a federal mandate just because you want little Timmy on the swim team, on the girls' swim team. No. So if that doesn't work out, then what's the next step?
Did 3 tours armed in Iraq alongside the military, and have worked for 4 different secretaries of defense, both Democrat and Republican, proudly. I'm also a Democrat representing a state that Trump won, right? We both won on the same ballot. Do you agree that there are some orders that can be given by the commander-in-chief that would violate the U.S. Constitution?
Senator, thank you for your service.
Did you hear what she just asked him? She asked him, would he ignore a direct order from the president when the military is, as she digs deep. Matter of fact, I'm gonna let her dig deeper, because she asked a broad question, but then she got specific. Let me not get ahead of myself. Sorry.
But I reject the premise that President Trump is going to be giving illegal orders.
No, I'm not saying he will, but do you believe there is such a thing as an illegal order that Joe Biden or any other president, Donald Trump, could give? Is there anything that a commander-in-chief could ask you to do with the uniformed military that would be in violation of the U.S. Constitution?
Senator, anybody of any party
Right.
could give an order that is against the Constitution or against the law.
So are you saying that you would stand in the breach and push back if you were given an illegal order?
I start by saying I reject the premise that President
I
Trump
understand
will be giving
you've done your
any
genuflecting
illegal
to him,
orders
but
at all.
Mike, this isn't a hypothetical, okay? Your predecessor in a Trump administration, Secretary Esper, was asked and did use uniformed military to clear unarmed protesters. He was given the order to potentially shoot at them. He later apologized publicly for those actions.
Okay, I'll let her finish.
Was he right or wrong to apologize?
Senator, I was there on the ground.
And
I saw the
I understand, and I respect that. Was he right or wrong to apologize?
I'm not going to put words in the mouth of Secretary Esper or
No,
anybody else.
he said them himself. You don't have to. What are you scared of? Did he do the right thing by apologizing?
I'm not scared of anything, Senator.
Then say
I'm
yes or no.
interested
You
in
can say no.
upholding-
Have you been personally involved in discussions of using the U.S. military active duty inside the United States?
Senator, I'm glad we finally got to the topic of border security equaling national security, because it's been abdicated and ignored for the last 4 years.
That wasn't my question. And you're going to be in charge of 3 million people, the active duty that I know you care about. I believe you care about. So have you been in conversations about using the active duty in any way? Whether it's setting up in detention camps, policing dangerous cities, have you been involved in any of those conversations?
Certainly, I have been involved in conversations relating to doing things this administration has not, which is secure the southern border and not allow floods of illegals into our country through an invasion that threatens the American people.
It's
She wants to know if he would commit treason by violating a presidential order if he ever felt the need to dispatch them into urban areas in order to combat crime that is too much for the local police to handle. Because understand that that would be the National Guard, which is a branch of the military. Like, you know, will you send in the National Guard? You're like, I mean, that's all he really had to say. Like, well, yes, I mean, if the local police can't handle it, and the FBI reports back to the president what's going on, and he decides to send us, then not send us as in the National Guard, into an area in order to control the area, then yes, we'll go. That's all he had to say. Like, I will not disobey a direct order from the president, because that's the president of the United freaking States. I doubt that sending in the National Guard to break up protests and crime in the street is in violation of the Constitution. That's why we have the National Guard. They're the ones that go into the cities, not us directly, you know, unless it's too much for them to handle. Then that's when we have to get involved. Like, but it's not going to be used on U.S. citizens. So relax. That's what the National Guard is for. We're for the illegals. So do understand, if suddenly all of these gang members that you fight so hard to keep in these cities suddenly decide to, you know, go out with a bang, then yes, if he deploys us to those areas, yes, we're going. And what was interesting was I was watching the clip. She's asking him to commit treason because, let me explain it. She feels that if it gets to that point, she feels that it is a violation of the Constitution, because you're not supposed to use the military on U.S. citizens. And what he's trying to tell her is that if it's to secure the border, then yes. Yes, I agree. But she's trying to worry about morals. You know, she's trying to win the moral argument. Don't you think it's wrong? Like, no. Like, no. Like, I don't know why he apologized. Like, because I wouldn't have. Like, I wouldn't apologize at all. For what? I'm doing my job. The protesters at Columbia, which is what she's talking about, got out of hand.
HDMI.
That's why the freaking Muslim dude got arrested. It turned violent. Destruction of property. Terrorist propaganda. Hamas propaganda all across the soil, the symbols and the flags and stuff. And these people got hostages, U.S. hostages. You over here chanting death to America. Are you on a visa? Are you kidding me? Get the hell out of here. You're inciting violence on a college campus, of all places. Threatening to hurt people. That's terroristic activity because of their religion. That's terroristic activity. We will not tolerate that here in the United States. Get the fuck out. We live here too. As black folks, we live here too. I know you see all this happening in white folks area. Yeah, but you know, a lot of black kids go to these colleges too, you know. Since you're so pro-blackity black. A lot of black kids go to Columbia. Not everybody's poor. Your kids too. Got black women sitting up there fighting for Hamas. Free Palestine. Like, give the hostages back. Like, I mean, hello, why are we fighting? Why are we chasing you across borders? Give the hostages back. It's over with. Look at what happened to your city. Look at the destruction of your city. Just give the hostages back. Get it over with. I mean, we're going to look. No, you're not walking out of this. No, there's no walking out of this. You can offer all types of deals and incentives and try to slow it down and slow and trickle. There's no getting out of this. You're delaying. You're just delaying the inevitable. And it's getting to the point where, you know, that President Trump guy, you know, he's a promises made, promises kept guy. Like, I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, they're over there burning down Tesla shops and everything. I mean, these people are so furious with him because he's doing what he said he was going to do. These folks done lost their goddamn minds. I know this stuff made me can't sleep. All Pete Hegseth had to do, all he had to say was like, look, if I do what you want me to do, which is to, you know, ignore direct order from the president, then I need you to understand that one or two things is going to happen. Either A, I'm going to get fired and somebody else is going to do it anyway. Okay, you're just delaying the inevitable. Or B, you want me to seize power from the president of the United States, thus forming a coup. Excuse me, thus making me a dictator, a military dictator, right? Is that what you, well, I mean, what are you asking me? Are you asking me, am I going to, you know, keep my job or form a coup? Which one are you asking me? That's what I would ask her. That would be my retort. Like, because I'm not going to, my job is not to question the president. I'm here to follow fucking orders. I'm the top soldier. I'm here to follow orders. I don't question the morality of the president. That's not my job. I'm here to follow orders and come up with the best way in which how to proceed with those orders. That's my job. He gives the order. I proceed with the best way how it's supposed to be done, and we go from there. That's how you answer that question. Because if you can't get the votes, then are you capable of at least winning over the services of the U.S. military in order to overthrow the president. This is why you want transgenders in the army. So at least that way you have some military backing. If you ever felt the need that you needed to have a military coup in order to overthrow the president, and hopefully you can get the general on your side, especially if he feels the need to use the U.S. military in U.S. cities on U.S. citizens, which is, of course, a violation of the Constitution. That's what she's asking, as far as setting up military camps or whatever. And it's like, hey, look, if the job gets too big for the National Guard, then, hey, my job is not to question the morality of the president. My job is to follow orders. And then you guys can figure it out later. But it will have to be something very big. I mean, very big. And I trust in that decision. Simple as that.
Summer in Chicago.
So, case in point. Case in point. Yes, our good old idiot Brandon Johnson is a prime case study for why that would happen. Okay? Because Chicago's crime wave that I've been covering on Embrace Villainy for like, what, 2-3 years? I mean, it is going to, I mean, they make it sound tame in this video, but good Lord, I mean, I was getting headaches covering local crime, especially coming out of Chicago and Baltimore, California, especially. Oh God. California, I mean, you're the victim and they're prosecuting you for sure for just trying to defend yourself from a rowdy mob of teenagers who tried to loot your liquor store. I mean, you even got punched in the face. That's why you pulled the gun. Because they roll up on bikes, then they raid your store, and like, this is how they get away. They don't get away on foot. Like, we're like, look where we are. There are no neighborhoods over here where a roving gang of teenagers live en masse. Like, these are getaway vehicles. This is how they do it. They roll up as a gang of 20, and then they mob your store, and then they speed off with their merchandise. There's videos of them doing this stuff. Like, what the hell? You said you were going to create jobs. These kids don't want to work. This is what they do for a living. They're boosters. They get paid more boosting product and selling it on the street or to a fence that hired them to do this. They get paid for the merchandise that they bring in. You know, there's a whole fencing operation going on. Because, you know, you give teenagers a slap on the wrist if they steal anything under $1,000. They can't be prosecuted for nothing. I mean, they're literally getting away with murder. Vehicular homicide. Still sticks in my craw about the 11-year-old who stole 13 cars in a 2-week span in Baltimore. And the only thing the police could do was take him back home to his mom. Every time they drove off, they looked in the mirror and saw them wave and then flip on the bird, and the mother let the boy goes running off from his mother back out into the street to, you know, look for another Kia to steal and crash. Trust me, we never pull them over without the car being wrecked. You know, that's your crime. That's, you know, those are your crime bills. Those are your new crime laws. It's ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous. It's so bad that this reporter had to ask Brandon Johnson this question. And trust me, if you've been keeping up with this stuff, you'll understand why, you know, my attitude on it is what it is.
Sadly, is considered violent black teenager season in Chicago.
The question you're about to see about violent black teenager season came after a shooting outside a movie theater right by Navy Pier.
For a large group of kids fighting outside.
A fight that led to a shooting.
I'm getting several tickets for shots fired.
The call for help came in just after 8 Sunday. A 46-year-old woman shot in the arm walking down the sidewalk with her young son.
A 46-year-old female tourist who was here visiting from Connecticut. We need the city to gather around right now and dedicate the amount of police resources that the downtown area needs, or we're going to have another summer of madness and mayhem.
Isn't that the ultimate tourist experience in Chicago? Getting shot while just walking around? Anyway, here's reporter William J. Kelly confronting the mayor about this problem.
Summer in Chicago, sadly, is considered violent black teenager season in Chicago by a lot of Chicagoans. It kicked off early on Sunday when about 100 or so violent black teens descended on downtown, specifically the Streeterville neighborhood, menacing residents, culminating in the shooting of a... No, I'm sorry, you didn't interrupt anyone else. This is a very important question that a lot of people in Chicago are very concerned about. That culminated in the shooting of a tourist pushing a baby carriage down Illinois Street. I've spoken with a number of the Streeterville residents. They say that they're not only worried about the violent black teenagers, what really concerns them is that they feel that the mayor doesn't get it. You say that you're going to have summer jobs, you're going to put another $100 million into these jobs. They didn't work last summer. And the question is simply this. At that press conference yesterday, you said that you wanted a second term, you needed these young black people in order to get reelected. Is this spending the hundreds of millions of dollars simply an attempt to buy votes?
No.
There was Mayor Johnson. My follow-up question. Everyone got a follow-up question. Lori Lightfoot also told me that crime was down. Lori Lightfoot also tried to buy votes by using other people's money. Do you think that you will get reelected using Lori Lightfoot's playbook?
I'm focused on this first term.
Give me the mic, please. You have got your follow-up.
Hi, Mayor.
Can I please get the mic? I'm right on camera.
I'm sure the mayor absolutely despised that question. After all, he's long held the stance that children shouldn't be demonized.
Look, demonizing children is wrong. We have to keep them safe as well. Have you ever taught middle school? I have. Have you ever raised young people? Do you understand the risk that young people take just because they're young? Do you know that home plate is at the bottom of my stairs? I found that out when my son was sliding down those stairs trying to score. They're young. Sometimes they make silly decisions. They do. And so we have to make sure that we are investing to make sure that young people know that they are supported.
They're not talking about your preteen son's age. You know, the nerdy kids. We're not talking about them. This is what the people they're trying to tell them. We're not talking about them. Like, we wish these kids that we're talking about were doing that. We're playing outside, having fun, you know, to themselves. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about these roving gang of teenagers that, you know, that do these looting things. They be robbing folks. I mean, damn, that riot in Chicago, I mean, it was ridiculous. That video of them robbing that dude of his PlayStation. He he picked he picked the wrong day to buy that PS5. That could have been, I mean, you couldn't have wrote that in a script. You couldn't have wrote that in a script. He picked that little Asian kid. That was the wrong thing for him to buy a PS5. Oh, that video of him getting jacked for his PS5 was so sad. He was trying to scare you home. It just, oh my God, they was on him, man. They was on him. They was on him like flies on honey. I mean, it was bad. Chicago was bad. I mean, you had whole events canceling because of the crime that was going on. Because all this defund the police, George Floyd law stuff. Because these kids weren't being arrested for committing crimes. And if they did, they just, went in, signed the book, signed themselves out. They'd be out on the street in an hour. Still causing mischief. So basically, all Brandon Johnson had to say, well, you know what? We will make arrests. We will strengthen the police force and we will make arrests. That way you calm all that down. You send a message. That type of behavior will not be tolerated. Like, we don't care if you're a teenager or not. You're getting prosecuted. No more of this soft on crime stuff. I'm done with it. Like, where's the money going? Because, I mean, we know that you're, $30 billion in the hole. I mean, you just went before Congress. They cut off your funding. So your federal funding is gone. The one chick from Florida, she brought all of y'all up on charges. She decided to press for Pam Bondi to press criminal charges on you for money laundering and aiding and abetting and harboring, terrorists within your cities. President Trump declared Tren de Lagra, illegal aliens, violent criminals, as terrorists, and ICE will be coming in to raid them. Please do not get in our way, but tell us where they are. And look, at least hold them for us. At least hold them for us. When you arrest them, you come across them, please arrest them and then call us. That's all we ask. Make our jobs easier. Work with us. Because if you're not working with us, then you're harboring terrorists. And then we'll see what you've been doing with the money. Brandon Johnson, I mean, they questioning him about shoes because they've seen him on his feet. Who gave you the Lugo Broglia shoes or whatever? Didn't somebody give you those shoes as a gift? Like, where are they right now? But he walking around in them. You're not supposed to accept gifts. They all supposed to go into a gift room. They all supposed to be cataloged. Because you're not allowed to accept them, because then, it's like you're accepting a bribe. So they just all go in the gift room. And then I guess they get auctioned off or something. But you don't get to keep that. He walking around with them on his feet. Thinking that everybody's stupid. The perks that they gave to his wife. They got him dead to rights. But on this crime thing, yeah, that's all he had to do. Just say, hey, we're going to start locking them up. Like, we're going to start prosecuting them. We'll start filling the juvenile detention centers. That's why we have them. And yes, I'll be helping with Trendale Agra too. I'll throw that in there too. We'll hold them. If we run across them, we'll detain them. The Tom Holman. That's all you got to do. Try to save yourself. Try to save your career, but you trying to go down with the ship. Ooh. These brothers they be messing up. I mean, it's so bad that that's what the residents call it. Young black teenager season. I mean, it was so bad, man. I was doing them shows. I was getting headaches. I couldn't believe the crime wave that I was reading about every day. I mean, the police body cam footage was just detestable. But when they did get caught, I mean, getting arrested for committing a crime was racist to them. That video of that chick trying to fight the cops while handcuffed. She kept jumping up, getting up in his face because she knew for certain she was going to jail because they had her on video doing what, the lady tried to stop her from stealing the groceries. So the lady grabbed the cart and she bumped the lady's arm off the cart. That's assault. That lady didn't touch you. She grabbed the cart. The cart is store property. One of those, it was the lady that had the cart full of groceries and all she paid for was like a can of Sprite. Cart full of groceries in Florida, and she was from Texas. Like, girl, don't you know Florida and Texas have the same laws? Like, you're in the wrong state to be doing this. We press charges. We arrest, we press charges. You get a court date. You have to pay bail to get out. You from Texas? She got up trying to fight the cops. Like, her two daughters started crying. Her two daughters started crying when the police, pulled her over, pushed her back, took her back to the office. So she wanted to call her friend to get the girls because she didn't want her girls to see, what was going on. So the cop let that happen. He was being cordial because she wasn't there by herself. She was there with some white chick and I think his family. Her family. Because I know it was like her mother, it was the white girl, her mother, and some light-skinned dude. And of course her and her two kids. So, he verified that this was the friend, because the chick was right there at the door, while she was on the phone. She's standing outside the door. So when the cop opened the door, she was already there. So he verified, and then he turned over the two kids, and then he went ahead and, arrested her, and then set her down on the bench. And then they watched the video. Like, he detained her. He didn't arrest her just yet. He detained her. So then they watched the video. And of course, so the cop then placed her under arrest, and then she jumped up, hollering and screaming in his face. Like she trying to fight him. So he pushed her back down, like, sit down, because he like, hold on, wait a minute. Nah, he ain't, you in Florida. Okay, you in Florida. We encourage them to shoot squatters, okay? Sheriff Grady ain't the only Florida sheriff that make big splashes on YouTube. We tell them take a training course down here. There will be none of that. So she jumped back up and he pushed her back down again. So at this point, he had called in for backup and he went to lead her because she just cutting up. So he went to lead her out to the car. And she just, the whole jumping up and down, hooping, hollering. and everything. And once he got her outside, she dead weighted him. And Charles will tell you all about this. So she dead weighted him to keep him from moving her. But hold on. This is Florida. So he drug her to the car. And I'm like, ooh, on that hot Florida pavement too. I know that stung. I mean, I know that stung. You ever played backyard football in the summer on concrete and you done, trip trying to catch a pass? Oh, ooh, yeah. That's a good sting. Yeah, he drug her to the car. So then he lifted her up, lifted her up, put her up against the car, unlocked the back door, and then put her in. And then she was kicking him, kicking at him all in his face while putting her in the car and calling him all sorts of racist. Oh, you racist, you racist. You racist because you drugged me. Like, you know what? This is Florida. We don't play. I mean, they do this to y'all in Texas too. I know for sure. We don't hear about any looting in Texas. Those stories are very, very few and far in between in Texas. So what makes you think that that's okay, to be stealing out here? I guess this is why the NAACP said, well, blacks shouldn't be in Florida. Like, yeah, because, they're not playing that out here in Florida. That's not a surprise. But do understand, there will be no shooting of young black teenagers over no loud music, some verbal stuff, and then think you're going to go back home to Chicago, New York, wherever you went, and we wasn't going to drag your ass back down here to Florida and prosecute your ass for that. Because you lied to us. You lied to us. You instigated the whole situation. And then you put a gun on them and shot at them and then drove off. And then we called back you at the hotel room. You said they attacked you. Like, but that's not the story. And then we saw the security footage. It was exactly what the kids said happened. All the witnesses said, yeah, you started yelling and screaming at them. They said something back to you. You didn't like it. So you pulled out a gun, you shot at them, and then you drove off. Isn't that what you said you did? You said you asked them to turn down the music? Is that right? Oh, now you want your lawyer? Yeah, get your ass down here. You're going to jail for that, bitch. And that's exactly what happened, did it not? Don't tell me Florida's racist. I mean, you get some stupid acts that may be race motivated, but they don't high profile cases like that, they don't slap your wrist. I mean, you can still have pockets of stuff, but like statewide, nah, it's that's tourist area. That's tourist area. Florida makes their money off of tourism. Disneyland, all them other theme parks, Miami. Some people like Tallahassee. Some people like Orlando. Those are vacation spots. No fucking way are they gonna let somebody fuck that up. They have strict laws down there. There won't be no, you come down to your winter home and somebody's squatting in it and you got to jump through hoops to get them out. Like, no. Like, if they produce a fake lease, their asses is going to jail. They better have a real lease or else they're going to jail. That's squatting, and we don't do that down here. Ain't no, it's abandoned property. No, it's not. And if he walked in and found you there and he shot you, that's okay too, by the way, because this is Florida. Georgia has the same laws. New York learned to adopt them in certain areas, especially after that big case. That dude tried to steal that woman's dead parents' home. Oh, that was ridiculous. Staged or not, but I don't think it was staged because they actually sentenced that guy. He went to jail. Like how it all played out, yeah, he wound up getting arrested. They passed the law against squatting, and then they arrested him. And they sentenced him. He went to jail. That's how it played out. The woman got her house back. That's how it all played out. Oh yeah, they stuck with that story. They stuck with that story in New York. They did not let up. I appreciate that. I appreciate the coverage. Like, what do you think is going to happen when re-election time comes? Because you already know what's going to happen. These people, they're going to lose their funding. Brandon Johnson, he's going to have to account for all of that money that he's been spending on illegals. You know, hence him being brought up on charges. You got Kathy Hochul talking about how we going to feed the kids without federal funding. And it's like, well, why don't you stop funding illegals? If you stop funding illegals, then you'll have the money. $53 million to house illegals in a hotel. What are you doing? What are you doing? That's your school. That's your school money. That's your school money. Brandon Johnson, that 1.7 million, whatever that you're asking for, yeah, that's the money right there. Stop funding illegals. Like, what are you doing? You're mismanaging your funds. It's ridiculous. Are you blaming Trump? Trump's not in charge of your piggy bank. You are. It's ridiculous. You knew the dude was coming in making cuts. Once he signed that Trinidad Lagras were terrorists, that was game over. Because you know you have them in your city. They're infested in all of these U.S. cities. All of these democratic cities. They're all up and down in here. Because, you know, you're sanctuary / not sanctuary cities. Get the hell out of here. It's us that suffer. Especially in Chicago. Because they dumped them in the black area. And then ridiculously had a Latino dude be their lawyer fighting against immigration. Because I guess they thought that the optics mattered. Well, it didn't matter. You got them anyway. And your crime is up. Mixed in with what they call young black teenager season. You know, at least the gang members, they're out here robbing train cars. You know, train cars and setting up their own warehouses and everything. I mean, these guys are thinking big. You know, these are like true gang members. They're not worried about the petty crime. In fact, to be honest, they're the ones employing the petty crime. What do you think those kids go to fence that stuff at? How else do you think they get these warehouses? You've seen videos of them looting them train cars in Chicago. You know, we was wondering where Tiffany Henyard was able to give away these 70-inch TVs at her bingos and these big old stainless steel refrigerators that normally go for like $700 away at bingo in Thornton Township. Like, where are these prices coming from? Where are the receipts? Huh? Where are the receipts? And then there's videos of, you know, black kids raiding the back of a train car. And then they fence the stuff to the Mexicans. The Tren de Lagras, the MS-13s, they fix them. They fence them to their factories, their warehouses. Sorry, man, it's, like I said, it's 5:34 in the morning. I need my sleep. But they fence them there. And they sell it at wholesale prices. So where's the receipts? Just produce the receipts. That's all we need to know. But you can't do that because it leads right back to the warehouse, doesn't it? That's why she ain't been showing up to the meetings. Yeah, she done missed some meetings. She just stopped showing up. She done gave up. It's over. You know, she knows she's defeated. God damn, she only got 534 damn votes. That's ridiculous. Defeat the people. Pure comedy gold. Pure comedy gold. I mean, the jig is up. The jig is up. As soon as they clean up that FBI and that DOJ, once they root out all the bad agents, they coming right after you. Just so you know, they coming right after you, and there's nothing you can do to stop them. No court injunction or anything. Trust me. By the time they're good and ready to turn their full attention on you, all of these little district court judges, whatnot, trying to block all of these orders. Oh, that'll be the Supreme Court will go ahead and make a decision on that. They'll make a decision on that because, like, okay, you know, impeaching the judge, okay, that's too much. But you're right. You know, there's no way that he should be able, from his position, to be able to defy a direct order of the president. That's ridiculous. He needs to bring that before council first. You're right. It should go before council first, and not just amongst his Democratic people, but from, you know, he should consult the Supreme Court on whether or not he has the ability to make a ruling on this. He should go through the Supreme Court first. Like, well, you know, that should be the process, because you don't have the power to usurp the president's direct orders, especially when he's trying to protect the country. That's ridiculous. A direct order is a direct order. It's not hurting anybody. you need to consult somebody on that. And that somebody is us. Stop wasting people's time. We're not going to sit up here and keep making ruling after ruling after ruling. And us just overturning your stuff. Like, this is ridiculous. Stop trying to slow down the progress. You're wasting the court's time. Consult with us. We'll make a ruling. And if it's in your favor, then they can appeal. Let us hear their side of the argument, and then we'll make a ruling. Everybody will be heard, and then we'll make a ruling. But outside of that, stop wasting the court's time with these petty judgments and rulings. Consult us first. God damn. How hard is that? I know, you're just stalling for time. You're gumming up the works, but you're costing taxpayers money. But this is what they elected the guy on, to cut down the taxes. Stop the waste of the money. That's what he's doing. It's not our fault that we're finding out that you guys are stealing the money. I know it's on both sides. I get it. But, you know, I mean, you guys were like you guys are just so fucking blatant. You didn't even bother to cover your tracks. Yeah, you don't want us in the U.S. Treasury, but we've already been in the U.S. Treasury. We know you've been just stealing trillions of dollars without any signatures on, you know, the release of that money. But trust me, it's traceable. It's traceable. Like, we already have blockchain on that money. Then you hear us talking about it, like we talked about it years ago, about them going to blockchain, and people were like, yeah, we should invest in blockchain. I'm like, you have to understand what blockchain is, you know, a lot of crime is going to go away because of blockchain, because they can trace the money. Like, they've already been, if they're talking about it, they've already done it. That's rule of law when it comes to media. They're talking about it, they've already done it. So you think you walked away with $4 trillion, but trust me, I mean, that money had to pop up somewhere in some type of dividend. Like, we can see the pattern swells just in all of your little shell holding accounts and everything. Like, you know, I mean, your name's connected to some of this. Your name's connected to all of this. We just look for the patterns. The money had to go somewhere. We just look for the groundswell. That's blockchain. Like, we got you. Jesus Christ, don't you understand? Once we went digital, money crimes just became so much easier to figure out. I mean, we can still get you with cash, Fanny. We can still get you with cash, Fanny. But you got to pay that $54K back. You know, would you give it to us? Would that be cash or charge? Let me cash or charge, Fanny. Oh my God. Ooh, girl, you better answer them subpoenas. Stop playing around with them. Stop playing in people's faces. Stop playing in people's faces. I know, these are my midnight ramblings when I can't sleep. I mean, these people think this Trump administration is a joke. That woman actually thinks that she can flip Pete Hegseth to commit treason against Donald Trump. Or step down and let somebody else do the job, because I'm not committing treason against the president of the United States. Whereas he gives me a direct order, I say no. He tells me just that I'm fired, and I say no. I'm not challenging him for power, but at the cost of my job, because that's the only way this is going to end for me. Like, I'll be damned. Like, but somebody else will do it, so it may as well be me, because my job is not to question the morality of the president. My job is to follow orders. I'll let the courts figure out the morality of it. Meanwhile, I'm going to do my job. Yeah, like, morals have no place in the army. It should never come to the point where the U.S. military needs to be in the streets of America outside of the National Guard. It should never get to that point. If it gets to that point, then it's gotten to its most dangerous levels. You know what I'm saying? At that point, you're declaring that you're under attack. And it has to be from illegals. And do understand, this U.S. military used in the cities, it's not just like the South American illegals, but you do have large contingencies of Palestinians in America. You saw that the last couple of years with the protests. I mean, they were like blocking up streets in like Dallas, Philadelphia, Chicago, New York, especially New York. Then of course, you had the incident on campus where the Muslim guy got arrested. It was a lot of, like, do understand that the Palestinians harbor a deep hatred for the United States because we fund Israel. So they hate us. Like on some Ilhan Omar shit. It's what happens if they get out of control and the National Guard is too much for the National Guard to handle. Like, I want you to understand that, yes, at that point, we are under attack and we are defending our borders from within. So giveth the order. Trust me, we can handle our local citizens with the National Guard. I mean, they're just usually, these silly, fat, out of shape liberal radicals. Sitting up here attacking people with Trump hats on. Like, what are you doing? Setting Teslas on fire, by the way. Trust me, the local police, they're equipped enough to handle it. But, if they call in the FBI is issuing the warrants for people who are saying that the FBI isn't doing anything. Because Trump labeled it terroristic activity, and Pam Bondi also declared it terroristic activity with a maximum minimum of 5 years, 5 to 20 years. Trust me, the FBI, they're doing something about it. You see them arresting people. I mean, we live in an Orwellian society. They can track you through the cameras. I don't care how many masks you wear. Like, dude, like, From the dealership back to your house, cameras are follow your whole trail. We got your license plate and everything. Like, wait, can we get a clear shot license plate? Got it. Okay. Who is it registered to? Okay. Go pick him up. That's what happened to the old guy in the USA jacket who keyed that Tesla. Like, this fool pulled up next to it. License plate clear as day. Keyed the Tesla. Then some guy on the street, hey, aren't you the guy that keyed the Tesla? What? Yeah. The camera got your key to tell you it's the Tesla. And dude, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, no, it was you. You had the same jacket on. It was you. The next thing you know, he was arrested at his house. These people ain't playing with you, man. You about to do 5 years for scratching up a Tesla. Ain't that some shit? You brain dead clogs. You sitting up here putting swastikas on the Teslas. Are you crazy? Are you the party of peace? But this is what you do. And that's what I'm like, man. Black folks, man, y'all can't be associating yourselves with these lunatics. There's no way in hell you can sit up there and claim to be a Democrat and be in line with stuff like that. I get it. That's they shit. But, this is why I say go independent. Step away from all of that. Stop associating yourself. Stop giving those people your energy. Stop voting for those folks. Stop voting with them folks. I mean, you see it's not working. I mean, come on. Jasmine Crockett and AOC, they're the head leads. I mean, damn. That woman roasted her. She sat up there and called Elon stupid. And the Aliyah Habab woman, whatever her name is, she called Elon stupid. Like, girl, you're not the woman at the bar drinking the drink. You're there serving the drink. Like, please. And she really had no retort back to her. She brought it up in her with a woman who said, I'd work behind the bar. Girl, please. Like, like, yeah. Like, she nailed you. Like, come on. Every meme about you is about how stupid you are. Like, there is no intelligent meme about you, I mean, that's not done in irony. Like, oh God. These are supposed to be your leaders of the Democratic Party. Because Chuck Schumer voted the right way because of government shutdown coming off behind of what y'all pulled at the congressional address would have just destroyed the party completely in the eyes of the American people. Like, we had enough losses. Jasmine Crockett, we're not winning court cases. We're just filing court cases. We're not winning them. They're going to take it to the appellate court, which is the Supreme Court, and then they'll make a decision. That's not a win. You call that a win? That's just a pause. The win is the final decision. God damn. I'm starting to think that maybe it's not an act. I mean, how often do we say that education doesn't equal intelligence? Maybe that energy was the act. Because it was lashes and weed back then. On their best behavior. Ain't that how they normally get in? And then once they're in, then the Tiffany Henyard and then comes out. They were always signed. Just that, you know, there was no news footage for us to judge her by. The unknown out in Texas, a BLM ambulance chaser. Like, you know, accidents and stuff. Maybe that is her. But that is not. The TikTok dancing and the cursing is not. Oh my God. It's just thinking your approval ratings lower. AOC harboring illegal and, you know, handing out pamphlets in Spanish on how to avoid ICE detention. I mean, coming out of your hands. I mean, you can't do that, sweetie. You can't do that. You know, we put you under investigation. Harboring fugitives for that. Like, look, all that stuff you're talking, what you're telling these people not to do, you know, all this pleading the fifth or whatnot. Like, look, you're not helping them. Especially for people who are naturalized, you know, who have a green card or an ID, you know, because they're a citizen, or a green card, they have ID on them that says, hey, yes, I'm here legally. And then we can verify it. Like, okay, well, go out your day. Like, it's not like we're jumping out and roving gangs, or, you know, people pushing shopping carts. Well, they look like it's illegal. No, that's not what they're doing. They're tracking Trinity Locker. In order to do that, you got to follow tips on where they, you know, who they've been in contact with. So if they come in contact with somebody who may have been here for like 20 years, who happens to be an illegal, the reason why we wound up catching you wound up getting detained, is because apparently you had contact with him, because we're looking for these gang members. We're on their trail. We're just following leads. You got caught up. So why did he contact you? Where's he going? You know what I'm saying? Tell us where he's going. Maybe we'll work something out. You've been here 20 years. Maybe we'll work something out. They'll kill you. Okay, well, put him in the truck, Larry. Like, I mean, that's really how a lot of that is going down, because, you know, you have people that you wonder why some of these people are getting cognitive release on ankle monitors. You know what I'm saying? That's getting caught up. And they're like, okay, well, they don't pose a threat, but they're illegal. You know, they're getting these ankle monitors because, you know, they're answering questions. That's why you get some of these stories where these people, they get detained, but then they get released back. You know, they're on ankle monitor, pending their status. Like, you know, maybe we can get you a temporary green card since you turned over some information to help us catch a dangerous fugitive. We'll work on that. That's what's been popping off with that. I know they don't really talk about those stories. they mention them, but they don't dig into them. Like, well, why did they make a deal? Why are you out? They don't ask those questions. But I mean, it's obvious when you look at the pattern. Yeah, she's under investigation for that, and for harboring that illegal, paying him on a government salary. It's like, well, clearly he was using somebody else's social security number because it didn't match up. Person probably came back deceased. You know fraudulent paperwork when you see it based on the social security number. because I mean, he needs it for you all to be able to give him a check to cash for tax purposes. So you already knew that you were employing an illegal. I mean, the guy fled the country. Okay, he fled the country and told everybody why. Yeah, because you know Trump is president. Like, yeah, I'm getting the hell up out of here. He's self-deported. He's self-deported. Like, girl, you in trouble. I know. In Fort Ilhan Omar. I mean, I keep seeing, like people talking about her possibly getting deported because of immigration fraud with her brother, plus with her quote unquote anti-Semitic behavior, anti-American behavior, in teaching Somalians who are illegal how to avoid getting arrested by ICE, which is the same thing the AOC was doing. And it's like, do understand if you can identify yourself as, being here legally, you're getting in the truck. Okay? We'll sort it out later. You need to tell people who have IDs on them, hey, please carry your paperwork. At least add that to your message. Like, you don't have to say nothing, but please carry your paperwork. Wherever you go, that would have been a better message to give to the people. I know. Yeah, I mean, I know it's all gonna come to a head. It's just a matter of time. Hopefully, before summer, they can get all of this started. Because the Democratic Party, they need new leadership bad. They need new leadership bad. They need a bipartisan leadership. I mean, I go broken recording again. You got Trump with these tariffs offering these companies these gold cards for corporations. Whereas if you can, produce, a good number of jobs for Americans, excuse me, I mean, if you're paying $5 million for this gold card, then you're not trying to open up, a little supermarket somewhere in Idaho. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to employ a good number of people. You're going to open up manufacturing plants. Because that's the whole purpose. Because the U.S. is the number one sales market in the world. Everybody wants a piece of the American green pie. We're very materialistic here. So in order to avoid the tariff, you just buy the ticket, you open up factories here, you produce the product here, thus you can able to keep costs low to avoid the tariff. Where costs will be high and people won't buy your product as much. You'll be priced out of the market. I mean, it's simple economics. So you bring jobs in. If I'm the Democratic Party, I'm trying to work with the Republicans to find out who's coming here on these golden tickets and then trying to land them in my areas. That would be my strategy. If I want to win back the public trust, I would drop all of this silly, goofy stuff of trying to, get Trump and just start filling up those factories. Fill up those warehouses. Fill up that office space. Rent out those apartment complexes and them pricey homes up there in the hills, where you get the most tax dollars from. Trust me, they're going to want to live in the most exclusive places where you can draw tax income from the home sales alone, especially the land tax. Oh my God. Ooh, it's like a tick biting into like the vein. You can leave that sucker dry in taxes. You really need to start focusing on the money. You know what I'm saying? If you want to have midnight soup kitchens, if you use the tax money right by bringing back industry, which means you have to be tough on crime. First thing you do is hire cops, start actually locking people up, get rid of the crime, then start selling the real estate. To do the tax dollars, maintain. It'll be profitable. And with the extra money, then you can go back to midnight. You can fund the midnight soup kitchen. It can be paid for by the city with taxpayer dollars. Would nobody object to that? Just make sure that all the money is spent wisely. That's all we ask. No more slush funding. You want to win back public trust? That's how you do it. Simple as that. Their messaging is just, it's trash. It's so outdated. It's so outdated. They don't even know what they're fighting for. I mean, we know they're fighting to, keep their slush funds going because they're so afraid that Trump is going to prosecute them for stealing, which he is. And yeah, he's going to be very selective. Trust me, once he starts arresting a few of you, the rest of you will start looking to cut deals. He's not worried. It's gonna be watch. It's gonna be a big fish too. It's gonna be a big fish. Why do you think AOC sent that letter to Van Bond? Please, please let me know. Respond by the 5th if you're looking to investigate me, because Tom Homan said he was gonna tell on me. Like, are you investigating me? And Pam Bondi didn't even acknowledge the letter. Like, girl, we ain't thinking about you. We keep running your mouth, and then we gonna think, if Trump say think about you, then I'm gonna do that. Trust me, your file is on my desk. You guys want to see what political power can do? Stroke of a pen, mightier than a sword. You can burn all the Teslas you want to. 5 years minimum max. Domestic terrorism. Local police can handle you. This shit is stupid. There's no way in hell. There's no way in hell anybody with any standards would back that. I mean, in California, they had like 38% growth or something. They're Republican. No, it was 100. It was 100 something. It was 138 new Republican voters. in their last election. Like that state is like turning red. Gavin Newsom out here making a whole clown ass show of himself. Man, them wildfires just definitely, I think that turned a lot of people. You know, I mean, a lot of people though they probably hasn't had a chance to vote in that poll or that last election. Wait till they vote this upcoming election. Those people want their homes rebuilt. They want crime gone. I think I died laughing when the news came down that Anna Kasparian quit the Democratic Party. I was like, oh my God. I was like, how could you not see that coming? I mean, damn. When she told that story of how she was assaulted, she was essayed on the street, walking her dog. The guy came up behind. It was two dudes. She said it was two guys. The one guy came up behind her, grabbed her hips, gave her a 3-pounder, and then, walked off laughing with her friend. And she was like wearing them yoga pants that, they like to wear. So she told the story of how she was, essayed in the street, and they immediately start calling her racist because she called the police. And she was like, what are y'all talking about? Like, how am I racist for calling the police for being assaulted? And they were thinking that the assaulter was black. And she was like, well, actually, my assaulter was white. It was two white guys. It was, one of them is the one that assaulted me. So again, how am I racist? That was her turning point. But I mean, I could have told her that the Democrats are racist. I mean, look at what they're calling it. They're calling it Black Teenage Summer. That's something that Democrats would do. They're the ones that live all downtown and shop downtown. Because that's that trendy yuppie shit that they do. I mean, don't get me bad, Republicans partake in it too. I mean, they're the ones that own those shops. They're the store owners. The Democrats are the main ones that do the shopping. It doesn't work if there's crime in the street. It doesn't work if there's terrorist activities going on in the streets and protests, especially on the college campus. That doesn't work. They're complaining about the problem that I'm fixing. That's why that speech from A Few Good Men was so good by Jack Nicholson. Yeah, I care not. I'd rather you said thank you. I mean, it holds validity. That's why you're supposed to respect your veterans. Oh my God. In all honesty, I thought it was a disgrace to veterans when that guy who claimed to be a veteran got up and was screaming at that Republican congressperson about them taking his Social Security. And it's like, dude, you're the only one that's saying that. So maybe you should look at what's going on, because we didn't cut your Social Security. Like, but let's look at, but you know what? Show me proof right now. Bring up your banking app. What day do you normally get your Social Security? On that day? Okay, bring up your banking app and let's take a look at, your history of deposits and see what's going on. We'll go back to last month and see. We'll check this month, and then we'll go back to last month, the last couple of months, and see if you've been getting your checks regularly. Show us the proof. Excuse me. Or are you one of these people that are paid to cause disruption? Because this is the CNN talking point, is that we're cutting veterans Social Security, which is not true. See, they don't play you the whole clip on those channels. Their whole talking point is he's cutting Social Security and Medicaid. Like, yeah, from the people who aren't alive on these roads. All of these bad Social Security numbers. There's nobody that's like 190 years old still collecting Social Security in this country. Are you kidding me? Not in millions? This is a Social Security fraud ring that's going on here. I wonder who's behind it. Since you love illegal so much, they need something to work here. Who'll pick my blueberries? Ooh, oh my God. I mean, sometimes they just tell on themselves, man. That's ridiculous. My blueberry smoothies. Good Lord. Ooh. That's wild. I know that's wild. Oh my God, these are your Democrats, man. These are your Democrats. Like, man, I mean, how do you align yourself with that? Like, I mean, I'm not aligned with the Republican Party either, but I mean, I understand their policies. Like, whether I agree with them or not is irrelevant. I mean, if it's to help the country out, then go ahead. It's about time somebody actually did something about the problem. Like, I don't understand why you're mad because government workers are losing their jobs. Well, clearly, what we discovered is that, they've been employed through sham operations. So we're shutting down those sham operations. And unfortunately, government workers at these sham operations are going to lose their jobs, especially when we're trimming the fat of programs and things that do not work or should not be funding because it's none of our business, especially in the Department of Education. There's no way in hell we should be tying the student lunch money program up into pushing the transgender ideology. Are you kidding me? What type of government does that? Like, we'll tell you what, we'll put it in the state's hands. We'll let the parents vote on it because, I mean, I've seen those town halls where the parents were getting up and talking about the books. And I mean, the parents were getting arrested just for simply reading the book, the contents of the books out loud in front of the school board. And they were very graphic. This is what was in the schools. Again, that's why DeSantis pulled his books. Like, we're gonna go through all of these books. We'll start from scratch. We'll rebuild our library, but we're gonna root all of this out. They haven't had a problem ever since. They stamped that out real quick. Real quick. They've been, DeSantis, in all honesty, has been one step ahead of what Trump is doing. I mean, this is why I felt that he probably would have made a good president if he just would have followed Trump's program. Just follow Trump's program. His talking points, use his talking points. He couldn't do that. He wasn't ready. He wasn't ready. You know, maybe he needed a little bit more seasoning, but ever since he dropped out of the race, he's been one step ahead of Trump. As far as what he's been doing with Florida, especially with waste, fraud, and abuse. The first thing he did, he did this a couple years ago, he audited Disney. Disney owed the state $700 million in their Reedy Creek place. He cleaned them out of corruption. He's going to make them pay their fair share of land taxes in their parks, theme parks, and at Reedy Creek, and stop ripping the people off. All because they voted yes on the Don't Say Gay bill in the state of Florida. He raked them over the coals. He raked them over the coals. He won them cases, boy. Yeah, it was so bad that they was talking about moving the theme park out of Florida. Like, well, where would they go? Like, well, nowhere. Florida is prime real estate. Had them by the short and curlies. Yeah, but it looks like that the reason why I bring him up, I seamlessly smooth that in there, is that it looks like he's proposing a bill to end land tax in Florida. If you own real estate, you no longer have to pay land tax. Are you kidding me? Florida is going to be the destination spot. Do you understand? It's going to be the hottest destination spot for anybody looking to live, in the sun and the fun. Especially them retirees. Are you kidding me? No land tax? Yeah, you pay off your house, you own it free and clear. Like, you ain't never got to worry about your son selling it because he couldn't maintain it. Because the land taxes were piled up on them to the point where the state had to seize the house or the city or whatever. Yeah, it can stay in the family name forever now. You know what I'm saying? Don't let the housing prices drop. He can get them insurance companies back. He can get them back with a lower rate. It'll be on like popcorn. It'll be on like popcorn. Because, they don't necessarily have fires. They have them floods and tornadoes. But if you can get those people's homes insured, you've already made them secure as you can be with your squatters' rights laws. Okay? And now that you've taken away the land tax part, then that means that, these people can stay in the homes longer, which means more people will come, which means there'll be more clients for homeowner insurance for you. You play the percentage of odds. Just make sure you cash these people out. Stop ripping them off to myself. Well, you only got flood damage, but this was caused by the wind. Stop doing that to people. Our old dude messing around there and I'm gonna get a Subway sandwich. I'll be right back. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can't be doing that to people. These people crazy out here, man. These people crazy. We still don't need know why he did it. Like, he can afford the bill. So what was the problem? Like, what's up? These people get radicalized quick out here. Don't play games with that insurance. Trust me, you'll make more money in Florida than you could ever dream of. All you gotta do is just play fair. Like, trust me, it'll work out. You're expected to take hits. It's Florida. They have hurricanes and shit. You can cash them folks out. And, the money will come right back to you. More people will actually sign up with you because, they got good coverage. Yeah, they tore off the roof and they had it fixed. Like, within 6 weeks, we had a whole new roof. Yeah, they took care of every inside and everything. They repainted and everything. New carpet. Yeah. They like good homeowners insurance. Go ahead and knock it out. Word of mouth will definitely get around. You'll make a lot more money just by keeping it private. I don't know why people work against their best interest. It's wild. Yeah, but DeSantis is a progressive Republican. I mean, whether he wearing lifts or not, or makeup or not, the one thing you can't knock is his policy. He makes sure he's taking care of his people out there. Yeah, Governor Kemp out here in Georgia, like, he following suit. I haven't heard anything about land taxes with him, but we'll see. I mean, they've been monkey see, monkey doing ever since Trump got elected. Really, actually, like early 2024, like with the whole squatters thing, because it was a problem out here. It was becoming a problem out here in Georgia. There's a lot of nice houses out here, Yeah, the one chick, she was a military vet. She was off on, duty. She come back. She's gone for like 7 months. She come back. She was living in her house. They passed that bill real quick. They got him out sooner though because he had a warrant. But shortly after that, they passed that bill. Yeah. Show a fake lease. You don't have a valid lease. You show a fake. Oh, you going to jail. They consider that a felony. That benefits everybody, not just white folks. I don't know why, people vote against their best interest. I mean, nobody thinks that it will happen to them until it does. Legal protection under the law. No, before I go, I'm thinking about this whole I don't understand why. I mean, I get it, but it's like there's a lot of attention paid to Black media figures who speak against the best interests of Black people. When there are a lot of sensible Black people here who see the bigger picture. It's like it's not. It's like it's a no shade. It's like, how do you not see what's how do you not see what's really going on here? Like, who are you listening to? Where are you getting your talking points from? Did you watch the whole speech? Or did you get it from a news site? I think I died laughing. It's like I'll post my news clips on my social media site. One girl asked me, well, I said, no, I responded, because I was reading this comment section. I responded to the op. I was like, you can tell who watched CNN, MSNBC, and The View. CNN and The View. So a girl wrote back, so, but he watched Fox News. Like, normally I watch Forbes. So, she laughed. She was like, she laughed, and I was like, do you even know what Forbes is? So, she went on to say that it was a Republican news site. I said, no. I was like, they don't have reporters. All they do is just play you the speeches and the lectures and the interviews, in the town hall meetings. Like, they don't have a bias. They just post it as it is. Like, it's just like C-SPAN, only on YouTube. And all the Forest footage I've shown, there's no reporters, unless they're, really speaking on an issue from a news clip. But normally, like, here's the interviews right here. Here's the press conferences right here, uninterrupted. Listen to what the man is saying. Use your logical talking point, like you be talking about. Not everything that's going on is anything to do with racism. If anything, it's like we're going to just it's a meritocracy now, which means earn your spot, earn your keep. You're no longer special. Nobody's special. No more special interest groups. The only special interest groups we have are the elderly, the sick and disabled, right, and the young. Those are our special interest groups. That's it. Like, that's it. Everybody else is just normal. You're just regular people. Get out there and grind and make it on your own people. That's who you are. You're the working class. So get busy. Get busy. Like, what you want us to do? We're bringing the jobs back, so get busy. Trust me, they about to trim this. Oh, when they trim this welfare down, that shit's gonna be so damn funny. Ooh, that's gonna be funny. Wait till they start auditing these states and start taking away these people's benefits. I mean, they're already doing it with Section 8 and food stamps. I mean, wait till they like really start digging into it to where if you're a working age female, I mean, no telling what's gonna happen with your benefits, but I can tell you what, it won't be pretty. You're gonna have to get a job. You're gonna have to get a job. You better find who your baby's daddies is and put them on child support if you want supplemental income. Oh, well, you can't have it? Well, too bad. You can get your money back by filing your taxes, but you're not going to be living off of the teeth of the government anymore. Like, I mean, we'll just give you $200 in food stamps, you know. You know, I mean, hey, got to cut back. You know, we're not going to be your fall guys. It's best you get a job. Yeah, because, you know, yeah, we lock up criminals. Yeah, it's unfortunate, isn't it? But the signs are there. You're just not paying attention. How do you not see that train coming down the tracks? First, though, it was now DOE, now the Treasury. I mean, they did the DOE real quick, real swift. They just defunded it and then moved on to the Treasury. That was easy. That was the easiest one. That was the easiest one. Oh, my goodness. Trust me, your turn is coming. I know it's going to be ugly. Oh, it's going to be ugly. It's going to be ugly out here in these streets, man. I'm telling you. I mean, you thought you was just dealing with, you know, snatch and grabs. Wait until they start, you know, being forced to feast on their own neighborhood. Yeah, and go uptown. They arrest you for that. So where can I do this and not get arrested at? Where the chances are low. Not a lot of cops in the area. Where can I do this at? And still try to fleece these goods. Yeah, right around the corner. Right around the corner. I mean, this is why grocery stores, Walmarts. I mean, Chicago has no Walmarts. Portland has no Walmarts. Chicago has 4. Portland had 2. They're gone. Yeah, all sorts of Walmarts closing in California. Yeah, Walmart's closing all over. For most people, that's the only grocery store in the area. And now people are sitting here trying to, you know, wanting Target to tank and go out of business. Not understanding that, you know, normally where there's a Walmart, there might be a grocery store or Kmart. And if the local grocery stores, let's understand after the Walmart shut down, some of the, and this is in Chicago, mind you, when the Walmarts left, some of the local grocery stores started shutting down because the crime migrated from Walmart to their stores. So they were forced to shut down to the point where Brandon Johnson talked about, well, we'll just open up state-run grocery stores. And they were all like, well, good luck, buddy. And he ain't even did that yet. Meanwhile, there are no grocery stores, you know, within these radius. They've created food deserts. Yeah, that's what happens when crime can't migrate out of its own neighborhood. Goes from grocery stores to stores. And then after stores, homes are next. Trickle down effect. Let me get out of here. I just I'd like to thank Lewis for this one. Getting my toss and turns off my chest. Yeah. Man, it's wild, the things that keep you up at night.
Okay, I believe that is an L. It is, in fact, an L. At least 6 hours ago, I couldn't even read a stop sign. All right, test me again. I want to go smaller. Smaller. All right.
Great work, Rob. Great work. See if you can read this. You're fired. And in case your ears are fucked, get the fuck out! And the next person I see juggling, tap dancing, or baton twirling, or doing any other circus-like tricks will join him, all right? One strike policy applies. Now get back to work. Ah, damn, that felt good.